This show is part of the Head Stuff Podcast Network.
The Greatest Matter by Conor Reid. Episode 7. A Revelation at the Opera.
Thank you again for inviting me to dine with you, Professor.
No, thank you for accepting my invitation, Dr. Ryan.
I just received some news before coming here from Lord Grimshaw. It seems this will be in the papers very soon, but he wanted to thank me personally for my help and to pass on his thanks to you. It seems the murderer has been caught.
Che cosa? The murderer was caught. Who was it?
Well, it seems you were correct. A degenerate, a criminal. I can't recall his name, but he was known to the police. He had been drinking and, well, clearly there was some degree of lunacy in the blood. It seems he flew into a frenzy and viciously murdered poor Redgrave.
I see.
Yes, and not only that, but we've all been spared the wasted expense and time of a trial, as your uomo delinquente made a run for it when he was being transferred from Dublin Castle and got shot for his troubles.
My God. He's dead.
Yes, thank God. So this whole business is over. No doubt the newspapers will have a field day with it, but there's nothing to be done about that. And Lord Grimshaw is very thankful for our assistance. Terrible business, though, this whole thing, wasn't it?
Sorry. Yes, terrible.
That was an excellent dinner. Will we order a port, perhaps?
Dr. Ryan, I'm very sorry, but I've just realized the time. I have an appointment at my hotel. If you'll excuse me.
Of course. Please, you go. I'll get the bill. Waiter?
Right, so we're nearly at the Gresham. What's the plan?
Well, we go to the hotel reception and ask for Professor Lombroso, I suppose.
And do you think he's going to come down to meet two unknown, unannounced ladies?
Well, then we should give him a strong reason to. Maybe we send up a note saying we need to speak to him urgently about a private matter involving a spirit?
Yes, that would probably do it all right.
Murder in the park, evening edition. Read about the shocking events in Phoenix Park.
Oh my God, it's out!
Yes, we'll take a copy.
Okay, here you go. Murder in the Phoenix Park.
What does it say?
Okay, let me see.
Wait, which journalist got the story?
Graham
Graham
Dunne.
Dunne. Oh, of course he did.
Oh, focus, Margaret.
Sorry. Okay, let's see. What does it say?
Murder in the park, Lord Redgrave's son, etc., etc. Attacked by known Dublin criminal Joe Callahan in the evening.
Wait, who?
Joe Callahan? Oh, I have no idea. Oh, look, there's a sketch of him.
Hey, this is Anya's man. The fellow in the park who claimed he saw the ghost? Just like she said. Dark hair, shaggy beard, large ears.
Oh my God, you're right. Wait, it says O'Callaghan was later shot by police while trying to escape?
What?
Chief Inspector Augustus Burton was...
Burton? Does it say Burton? Sloppy work done.
Was quoted as saying a full confession was obtained from O'Callaghan. Man was known to police, etc., etc. Eyewitnesses saw him fleeing from the scene covered in blood.
Jesus, the poor man is dead. Shot while trying to escape. Oh, Christ, we've heard that line before, Fran.
I know. And it says here the man was a petty criminal. What's he doing murdering a man in the park? And it's not just some robbery gone wrong. We know Redgrave was torn apart. They thought it was a wild animal, for God's sake.
Yeah, this is nonsense. Police needed a man, and this guy was in the wrong place at the wrong time. All very convenient that they got a full confession, and then he just happened to be shot, isn't it? And it doesn't explain what the army are doing rounding up witnesses and apparently random spiritualists.
And look who it is down the end of the article here. Police have thanked the staff of Dublin Zoo who aided with inquiries, as well as a visiting Professor of Crime whose assistance was invaluable. Right, so I don't think that's his official title, but there's Lombroso again.
We need to talk to this man. Something is being covered up. The army are running some sort of alternative investigation, and Lombroso's name is everywhere.
Well, let's stick to the plan. Send up a card with a note at the hotel and see what happens.
And then?
Then we ask him if he thinks a spirit killed Redgrave.
Sorry, what?
The glowing figure who bumped into O'Callaghan.
Francis, why don't we make a wild assumption that was a man until the evidence proves otherwise?
Well, let's see what Lombroso thinks.
Ugh, fine. Come on.
Just through here, sir. Lord Grimshaw's in his box.
Thank you. Is he alone?
Yes, he typically has guests, but it seems it's just yourself tonight. Here we are.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for the invitation to the opera.
Indeed. Don't worry about the opera, Chief Inspector. This is a particularly poor version of La Traviata. But I found a box in the Gaiety is an excellent place to have a private conversation. Now, I hear you have excellent news.
Yes, sir. O'Callaghan is dead. Shot while trying to escape.
And you have a confession?
I'll write up a report stating as much.
Excellent. Chief Inspector, you have truly impressed me, I must say. You get things done quietly and quickly, and most importantly, you follow orders, even when it requires getting your hands a little dirty.
Sir.
Which is why I've requested your temporary transfer to a specialized unit I command.
Oh, and what does this unit specialize in, may I ask?
The dead.
The dead?
Well, more specifically, those among the dead who have a fondness for visiting the living. Ghosts, you might say. Spirits, ectoplasmic embodiments of those from another plane of being.
Sir, I'm not sure I'm following.
Not quite what you were expecting, I imagine. Chief Inspector, in revealing what I'm about to say, I'm bringing you into a very small circle of military intelligence operatives who are aware of the true reality of life beyond our own.
As in spiritualism? Seances? Is that what we're talking about?
Precisely. As you can imagine, a huge proportion of all this is nonsense. So-called mediums looking for a way to earn a few shillings. Others are operating more sophisticated scams.
Ah, I arrested one last year. He was conning gullible old ladies out of their savings.
Of course. And like everything in life, people will take advantage where there is an opportunity. However, in recent years, a small unit in the military began taking a more active interest in conjunction with the Institute of Psychical Research in London. When world-renowned scientists start to take something like this seriously, there's an understandable interest from a number of parties. The military began looking into it, and I was placed in charge, especially as it seems the most convincing evidence was coming out of Ireland.
I see. Sir, I'm not sure what did you find?
With the help of two particularly brilliant scientists and their team, we found a significant amount of evidence for the reality of spiritualism. Not everything the spiritualists claim is true, you understand, or certainly not verifiable. But we have incontrovertible proof of the ability of the dead to communicate with our plane, with the assistance of a particularly gifted medium, of which there are a relatively small number.
I'm sorry, sir. This is all just
unbelievable? Yes, absolutely. I thought the same. But I've seen the experiments. I've spoken with the scientists. I've seen spirits materialize in totally controlled environments. Not parlor tricks. Experiments in scientific laboratories under the close supervision of scientific and military men.
I see. So, if you don't mind me asking, why is this not widely known?
Chief Inspector, can you imagine the impact this sort of knowledge would have on society? For one thing, the church. All the faiths, as you can imagine, have a strong and powerful interest in maintaining their hold over access to the afterlife. And then there's another, more pressing reason. This is all very new. We don't understand how most of this works, the nature of the afterlife, the reason why some spirits can return to us and others seemingly cannot, the reason why quite a few mediums can channel the spirit plane in a limited way, but a select few are considerably more powerful.
So there are real mediums?
Yes. And, as I'm sure you understand, Chief Inspector, when it comes to a source of huge potential power like this, Her Majesty's government is rather keen to retain any advantage it can. We have yet to ascertain how far along the Germans, or the French, for example, are in this field. Unfortunately, it would seem in almost every case to be women who are most powerful mediums. So, this all needs guidance. We have an empire to administer, interests to protect, which brings me to why I'm telling you all of this.
I was beginning to wonder, sir.
Of course, I need not remind you of the extreme consequences of revealing this. Consequences for you, and in this case, I am regrettably going to have to include consequences for your wife, your 2 lovely children, and your poor widowed mother. Are we quite clear?
Very clear, sir.
Excellent. The fact of the matter is I have looked into your background, and you can be trusted. Your men speak very highly of you, and you know this city and its criminal class better than most. Which is why I need you in this unit, to track down this murderer.
To track down... Sorry, are we saying O'Callaghan is not...
Do you think that petty thief and drunkard killed Redgrave?
Well, no, but...
So Redgrave's killer is out there. The Chief Secretary, the Prime Minister, and the powers that be are content that this gruesome murder, a lone, non-political act of lunacy, has been solved. Now we can get on with finding the medium behind it.
The medium?
Precisely. As we have recently established, there are a very small number of mediums who can bring forth spirits to this plane. They materialize and take an ectoplasmic form. Not exactly flesh and bone, but they can interact physically with our world.
So they are spirits, but they have a physical form?
Well, yes and no. They are definitely not alive like you or me, but they do have a physical form. They can pick up objects. If they hit you, you bleed.
And if one of these spirits violently attacked, bit and clawed you, it might kill you.
Now you see where we are. My unit has been running a parallel investigation into this murder, and our suspicion is that whoever, or whatever, killed Lord Redgrave's son was a materialized spirit form. There were certain signs, remnants apparent on the body when our scientists examined it, that have led us to this conclusion.
My God.
Now, with all our experiments so far, these spirits tend to dematerialize very quickly, typically a few minutes. But clearly, there is a medium in Dublin with an unprecedented ability. As you can imagine, we would be very keen to talk to her.
And so you need me to help in tracking this woman down?
I do. I have already spoken to the Commissioner, who has assigned you to my unit.
And so what happens when we find this medium?
You can leave that to us, Chief Inspector. Once we have questioned her, our scientists would be very keen to run some experiments. We've been frustrated in previous attempts. The female constitution is unfortunately too delicate for some of the stresses we have been required to put on it. But a few women in asylums is a price we are more than willing to pay for the potential power this could unlock. Anyway, you don't need to worry about the science. Just find this medium.
Of course, sir. I think I just need a little time to digest all of this.
Naturally. You have 3 hours. Then you can report to Colonel Godley at this address. Do what is required of you, and this should all run smoothly.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you're not staying, sir?
No,
Sir? Sir, are you all right?
No, sorry, I've just received some unbelievable news.
Oh, well, I hope it's nothing too unfortunate, sir.
Honestly, I don't know what to believe or what I've gotten myself into. Sorry, can I get out here, yes? Thank you.
Miss Carey, over here.
Professor, good to see you. It's so busy here tonight.
Yes, there was a function on, it seems. I've got us a table over here. I've ordered myself a port. Would you care for a drink?
No, thank you. Just some water is fine. Professor, there have been some developments since we spoke yesterday.
Indeed there have.
You know about all these spiritualist arrests?
Oh, no, I was referring to something else entirely. What arrests?
Professor, 5 mediums that I know of were taken into custody. Not by the police, but by some army division, I've been told. Nobody seems to know why this is happening, and I'm wondering if I'm next.
Miss Carey, I fear you might be.
What? What do you know?
I'm afraid this might come as quite a shock to you, but let me explain as best I understand it. I picked up a copy of this evening's paper in the lobby there. Do you see the headline? Murder in the Park?
Yes, I saw that. The chief secretary's son was violently murdered. Awful stuff.
Miss Carey, please try to stay calm, but I'm afraid that the murderer was your pithecanthropus.
What?
Please!
How? But the paper said they caught the killer. Some criminal?
The paper didn't release all the details. Mr. Redgrave wasn't just killed in some robbery. It was a crazed attack. I saw the body, Miss Carey.
You saw the body?
Yes. I was asked to help identify what type of killer it might have been. And, well, now I know. Your spirit, a violent ape man, as you said yourself, left your house, heading in precisely that direction. And soon after, a man is found clawed and bitten to death.
Oh my God. But what about this murderer in the paper?
Unfortunately, perhaps, my pronouncement on the criminal type have contributed to the police arresting a common criminal. And he's now dead too. He wasn't the murderer, Miss Carey. I'm sure of it. Which leaves us with a very serious problem, and, if your report on these spiritualists' arrests is right, a problem which is more urgent than I thought.
Oh my God. What have I done? This has got out of control.
Miss Carey, please speak quietly. Look, we need to act fast.
Act fast? How? Not 1, but 2 men are dead because of me.
Miss Carey, you are, without any shadow of a doubt, the most powerful medium I have ever encountered. Nobody has managed to materialize a spirit that has remained corporeal for so long. This is a huge coup for our cause. Think of the sensation it will cause. A spirit that people can truly touch and feel and talk to.
And get murdered by?
Well, yes. Clearly there is some work to be done on who or what is materialized like this, but surely you can see how important it is to the great truth. And what an irreparable setback it would be if the truth of this murder were to get out.
Well, yes, of course.
I thought we had been extremely fortunate with the arrest and death of this criminal. But I see now it was all too tidy.
What do you mean?
The public has a murderer. The crime has been solved, and now the murderer is conveniently dead before trial, and yet the army unit is rounding up well-known mediums in the area for questioning. Somebody knows the truth of what happened. They'll come for you very soon.
So, what do I do?
We, Miss Carey. I intend to help you in any way I can. The truth is too important to be hushed up by the British military.
Maybe I will take that drink.
Hold on, Margaret. Let me just write this note for Lombroso and we'll give it to the receptionist there.
Perfect. This is a nice hotel, isn't it? Maybe he'll invite us for a drink in the bar over there.
Unlikely, but yes, it is lovely. Wait. Margaret. Margaret, come here. Look, he's in the bar. There.
Oh, and he's with a lady.
Who is it, do you think?
I've no idea. But they're looking very conspiratorial, aren't they?
What do we do?
We have to go over. We could ask if he might be free later and come back then.
Well, now I don't need my note.
Wait, Francis, sit down. Just turn around to me this way and pretend we're having a chat.
Now what is it?
Don't turn around. But over at the reception there are 4 very soldierly looking men.
Soldiery?
You know what I mean. Just glance casually over. They're not in uniform, but they must be soldiers. The haircuts, the shoes, the way 3 of them are sort of standing to attention behind the older one.
They do look
We need to
soldiery.
speak to a Professor Caesar Lombroso.
I'm not getting a
Could you
friendly
send
feeling
someone up
from
to his
these
room,
gentlemen.
please?
No, we have to stay though. Lombroso could be the key to all of this. Come on, let's just go over to him quickly.
Fine. Quick, quick.
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, pardon me. Ow! Good evening. Professor Lombroso, is it?
Yes?
Pardon the interruption.
Excuse me, Professor. A word, please?
Francis, the soldiers.
The what? Oh dear. Miss Carey, I think we should leave.
Wait. Stop.
Look, the side door. Out there. Run!
What are we doing, Margaret?
I don't know. Follow the professor, come on.
Stop. You two, what are you doing?
Run!
Lieutenant, go around the back. Smith, Haggard with me. Get the medium and the professor too, and those 2 women might be involved. Take them if you can. Carey is the main target. Go! Go!
Oh God! Oh God! Oh God!
She's a medium, Fran.
What?
The lady with Lombroso must be a medium. Do you hear? The men are after her, not Lombroso. We need to help her. Professor, wait!
They're heading towards Tyrone Street. What about your friend Fergus? His shop on the corner. Would he help?
Yes, it's worth a go. Hold on. My God, they can run. Professor, we want to help you.
Who are you?
There's no time to explain now. Come this way. We can help you get away from the soldiers. There's a shop just around the corner. If we can turn the corner and get into it before the soldiers see us, the shopkeeper will help us out.
I don't know.
Do you have any better options?
Fergus, quick, you need to help us.
Jesus, Margaret, what's going on? Francis, who are these people?
Fergus, listen to me. We'll explain in a minute. But can we hide in the storeroom? If anyone comes in looking for us, you saw 4 people running past the shop a second ago, okay?
Yeah, of course, Margaret.
Quick, let's go. Let's go.
Okay. Don't move. Don't say a word.
Is there anyone in the shop? Did anyone come this way?
What? No, I'm the only one here. A few people looking like they were in an awful hurry just ran down that way though. I see. Is there anything in that back room? Sorry sir, who are you, if you don't mind me asking? Colonel Algernon Godley, 4th Royal Irish Dragoon Guards. Open the door now. Yes, of course. Just lots of boxes back there. It's an awful mess, really. Sir, quick, the door to the church across the way. It's swung closed as we turn the corner. Lieutenant Haggard's gone in. Right, let's go. Have a good evening there, sir.
He's gone. Jesus, Margaret, me heart. What the hell was all that about?
It's a bit difficult to explain right now. Thank you, Fergus, truly. Is there a back door to get out of here?
I'll do you one better. Tom will be here any minute now with a delivery. I'll talk to him. You can jump into the back of his wagon. I'm the last stop, so there'll be plenty of room in the back, and he can drop you well out of the way of Colonel Dragoon or whoever the hell he was.
You're a lifesaver, Fergus. Possibly, literally.
Right, let's get moving. Up, come on.
That was close.
Ladies, I am eternally grateful. We both are.
Is she okay?
Miss Carey? Yes, I think so. Seems the episode has taken it out of her. She may need a moment.
So, this is Miss Carey, a medium?
Miss Kate Carey, yes. A renowned medium, one of the greatest I have ever come across, in fact. And you are?
I'm Miss Margaret Malone, and this is Miss Frances Hunter. Pleased to meet you, Professor Lombroso.
You know who I am?
We know quite a bit about you. Miss Malone here is a journalist, and we're investigating the murder of James Redgrave, or I should say, the cover-up of his death. Your name seems to keep coming up, so we thought we'd have a word with you in the hotel. And, well, things have taken something of a turn.
Indeed they have. Miss Hunter, Miss Malone, I'm not sure how much you know, or think you know, but I can assure you this is a most serious business, with some very powerful men involved. I don't think it is the place of two young ladies to be...
Listen, Professor. We ladies have just saved Miss Carey. Perhaps you two, from what I can safely assume, would have been an extremely unpleasant interrogation. We know about the murder. We know Joe Callanan was innocent. We know about the strange man seen running from the crime scene, about the police cover-up, G Division, the army. And we know all of this without the help of any powerful men.
I see. Well, I will leave you to your inquiries. Miss Carey and I will get out when we stop next. Thank you again for your help.
That's it? That's all we get after saving you? Shh!
No, sir, nothing in there.
Who is it?
I don't know. Keep still, everyone.
Don't open the... Oh, I don't know how they got in there.
Professor Lombroso, Miss Carey, and I see you brought your new friends. Get them out of there and back to headquarters.
The Greatest Matter was written and directed by Conor Reid. It was recorded at the Podcast Studios Dublin and produced by Hilary Barry, with editing, sound design and original music by Conor Reid. Professor Lombroso was played by Donncha O'D, Frances was Amy O'Dwyer, Margaret was Margaret McCauliffe, Chief Inspector Burton was Darragh Smith, and Colonel Godley was James Ward. Lord Grimshaw was played by Donncha O'D, Kate Carey was Margaret McCauliffe, Dr. Ryan was James Ward, Private Stapleton was Conor Reid, Tom the delivery driver was Paddy O'Leary, and the newspaper boy, in a special guest appearance, was played by Milo Reid. This show is part of the Headstuff Podcast Network. For more on the network, all the great shows, and details of how you can support this show, go to headstuffpodcasts.com. And for a deep dive into all things The Greatest Matter, you can head to thegreatestmatter.com, where you'll find actor bios, links, further reading, images, full scripts, and lots more. Thanks for listening.
This show is part of the Headstuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with Headstuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.